So, the Google Doodle, does it need explaining today? I told you. What do you think's about to rise out of the pit? Does it offend you that I dance as if I have diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? I want you to look right here. There you go. You know what you're looking at, right? The head of the serpent, the eye, nostril, nostril, tip of the mouth, tongue coming out. That's a rudimentary image of a serpent right there. Just don't worry about the curly cues. There's the serpent. There you go. Anyway, the thing is, I don't want to play it. I don't want to play the audio because I don't know the way Google perceives or, would react to me playing their video. It's one thing to use an image. It's another thing to play a video that's got codecs attached to it, a codec that's attached to it, because then they could, hit you with a copyright issue. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. Just go watch the Google Doodle. I mean, it's like, I told you what's about to happen. The pit, I've been showing you the pit's going to open up, and what's going to rise out of the pit is a race of locusts that since the beginning of time have been feeding off the souls of everyone that doesn't get converted. Anyway, yeah, I'll get back to some vids this afternoon, and I'm working on some last minute details that the Lord's got me doing, so I'll just get them done. Anyway, so the time is right in front of us. I mean, if you can't tell by the doodle, by the way, at the very end of this thing, at the very end of this thing, let's see, let me play. I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to play it to the end. Then I'll show you the image. I want to show you this, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. Look right here, I am. See, it's a different color. I am the hope and the dream of the slave that, that my ancestors gave. Um, this is just talking about that other spirit coming up out of the pit. I am the hope. And at the end of all this, sorry, there's a gnat. There, at the end of all this, you're going to see Apollyon. Remember, the Statue of Liberty is facing east, watching the sunrise. Let me show you a great image of that. Just sit tight. Okay, so here you go. What's going to rise? Apollyon's going to rise up out of the pit. That's why the Statue of Liberty is looking east, That's why when they pray to Mecca, they pray to the east, because that's their god, the devil, the angel from the pit. So here you go. Now watch. So there you go. So the Statue of Liberty is looking towards the east, watching the sunrise. I put the Obama logo there. Change we can believe in. And what do you think the Google Doodle's about today? What do you think that's all about? I rise. What do you think they're talking about? Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the hope, the dream of the slave. So what are they talking about? Well, let me show you what they're talking about. Let's go back this way. And then let me show you what they're talking about. These are the gifts they're talking about. All the sperm that went into the female reproductive system that was the spark of life, which were God's angels, that got converted into food for a locust race in the pit. Wow, what an interesting random image. There we go. Let's look at some common denominators. There's Rihanna with the devil on her crotch, the mouth of the devil. The mouth of the devil, okay, is the opening to Rihanna's vagina on her clothes. I mean, you're looking right at it. This is not arguable. So let's just put on our lab coats. Let's just, come on. We just got to be very clinical and just be real. Let's be real. Okay, there's the devil. There's the eye, the nose. And the open mouth is the vagina of Rihanna. Oh, wow. The largest altar in the world is a dead sheep. And when you turn it upside down, right here, we'll slide that sheep right up there, turn it upside down, slide it over. There's a female reproductive system just like Rihanna. And what do they have in common? Well, this window right here, this window, this opening to this window right above the sheep, that's the entrance to the female vagina. Right here is the mouth of the devil, and right here is the mouth of the serpent, because this entire building right here, that window right there is this window right here. So on the outside of the building, this square window right here, see, it's really a square. They just have this altar built around it of God's angels melting, turning into semen, turning into semen. Okay, now y'all ready for the big one? You're ready for the mind whapper? Everybody's ready for the mental overload? Here you go. Here's the mental overload. Prepare for the mental overload. Genesis 1, there's two spirits, guys. And the earth was void and without form, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God, Elohim. Now, let me help you out. The Lord God created Elohim. Okay, do you understand? He is the Lord God, the self existent, eternal God. He doesn't leave heaven. Elohim came down, and he comes back and buys it back. Watch. And the Spirit of God, Elohim, of the Supreme God, God's angels, magistrates, moved over the face of the, look at that word right there, waters. What does it say? A dual noun, but not used in the singular sense. Water, figuratively used by euphemism, semen. Moved over the semen. Wow, that's wild, because the largest altar in the world is a bunch of God's angels turning into semen. Wow. And now we have a Google Doodle that's talking about I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the hope, the dream of the slave. And they're talking about Apollyon rising out of the pit and the race of locusts. Because what happened to every soul that got converted, every single angel that got converted to food for another race in the pit? That's why this largest altar right here, which is that same window, and I'm going to go at the risk of being redundant, that window right there, this window, which is the opening to the female vagina, we're going to take it and put it right where it goes. It goes right there, the mouth of the bug right there, which is a giant bug, locust from the pit. That's Apollyon, that spirit from the pit. And then all we have to do to see what's going on there is take this anatomical drawing of a penis and put it right there. And that's why the whole darn altar is a bunch of angels turning to semen. Bunch of angels turning into semen, going into a female reproduction system. How do you think everybody got here? How were you formed? How was your host body formed? Where did your essence come from? It came from semen connecting with an egg, and then boom, a vesica piscis formed, and then you have a new trapped host body system for the essence of one of God's angels. This mystery is solved. You see all the angels turning to semen right there? There's a bunch of angels. See all the semen running down the side of the penis that's shooting its seed into the open vagina? Well, they're telling you, hey, it's time for us to rise. There it is. They're going to rise out of the pit. They said, I rise. What's the Statue of Liberty sits on top of an 11-pointed star, which is called a hendecagram. Go look it up for yourself. The Lord already led me to all this. A hendecagram is a kelipot. A kelipot, it means housing the holiness of God, and it in itself is inherently evil. The kelipot is, which is the flesh. The word kelipot means husk, right here. I'll show you right here. There's your 11-pointed star that the Statue of Liberty sits on top of. It says peel, husk, or shell, inherently evil, housing the essence of holiness. That's what the Statue of Liberty is on top of, a calipot. And she's standing there with a penis in her hand, and just go look at the bottom part of the torch, and the penis is pointing down, and that's where they get their energy. That's why there's a flame burning. So she's watching the rising of the sun every morning, which is the rising of Apollyon from the pit, which is a race of locusts, and they're about to rise because the human host body is just that. It's a host body system used to convert angels that got sent here via semen as the vehicle of distribution for those souls. So the semen enters and connects with an egg. You have the dualistic system, good and evil. The whole system is at odds with itself, and unless you get converted, you go to the pit. There it is, man. This is a no-brainer. So anyway, so here we go. The mouth of the serpent right there is the opening to the female vagina. That's why Rihanna right there has the mouth of the devil on her vagina, because it's the same darn thing as the Vatican, and they worship that. They worship the flesh. I mean, watch. I'm just going to lay it right on top. Mouth of the devil, mouth of the serpent. The serpent is the devil. Okay. And we became the devil. We became the serpent flesh. So now let's take the serpent mouth and put it right where Rihanna's mouth of the devil is, right on her vagina. Let's slide that over. There it is. And then let's slide this over. It's all the same. Mouth of the serpent, opening to the vagina. Rihanna, mouth of the devil, same as the mouth of the serpent. So that's the way everybody got here. And I just used the Bible and the translations of the face of the deep and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters, the Mayim, semen. Okay, so there you go. And why do you think the Lord showed me a giant altar and he told me, Jonathan, I want you to look from above? I mean, the Bible says, my sheep hear my voice. And I hear his voice. When I got saved, an angel told me, Jonathan, learn to trust that little voice you hear. That's God speaking to you now. And I was beaming with light. And okay. And so I've been following him ever since. And he's the one that led me to this. So are you telling me that's not a penis? Is anyone trying to tell me that's not a penis? Shooting a seed that's a crown? And see, look, see the white little line? Those are candles. There's 5 on one side, 5 on the other. That's why coming right out of the center of that vesica piscis in the penis is the crown going in, because that's what crowned Satan's kingdom, the flesh. He got his little crown inside of Eve, and Eve was impregnated by the serpent and Adam, and she had heteropaternal superfecundation twins, Cain and Abel. Say it together, cannibal. The whole system is cannibalistic, right side up, upside down, light and dark, good and evil. And there it is. And there's a bunch of angels that are turning into semen running down the side of a penis that's the largest altar in the world. And Genesis 1:2 says, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the semen. There it is. Now you know why Marina Abramovic makes her little witchcraft spells with semen, urine. Let's go back and look at what the other thing was in that. Let's see. Oh, there you go. Urine, semen. Okay. And Marina Abramovic uses urine, semen, breast milk, and blood. All the components necessary for the host body system. That's what she uses. And she writes the letter W, V intersecting another V. You can tell it's 2 V's because she writes it like that. And it says, with a sharp knife, cut deeply into your middle finger, because it makes a W, the 2V, 5 and 5. and then eat the pain. You know, she's a witch. She's a witch. They worship the flesh. So today's Google Doodle, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. What gifts? Uh, all these gifts. These gifts that went to food for a race of locusts that are coming out of the pit. Revelation 9, and the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven. And everybody pay attention because a lot of people think it's a big burning star. And to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit. And there arose smoke out of the pit. And out of the smoke, a great furnace, the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth. Okay. There's your big queen king locust. I mean, there it is. There's your locust. There's the head locust. There's the head bug right there with a penis going in its mouth. The gifts the ancestors gave. Boom. Those are the gifts. Boom. There's the gift. 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 Okay, proven. Now, and here's what's going to happen. That's why, again, now that's why these young ladies have the same bug tattooed right on their vaginas, because the penis going in that vagina is food for that system down in the pit, the gifts their ancestor gave. There it is. Here's another one. There it is. I'll leave it on the screen. Have a look. You're telling me that's not the same bug? That's not a rudimentary image of a bug with mandibles? You're wrong. It is. You're telling me that's not a rudimentary image of a bug with mandibles? You're wrong. It is. The entire system is dualistic. That's why Jesus was on a cross in between a good guy and a bad guy, the good you, the bad you, the double you, and Jesus reconciled both to God through the cross. That's why they bombed the Twin Towers, because it was a representation of the same system, one and one making a double U, and they put in its place the One World Freedom Tower. And what's about to happen is that pit's about to open up, and out of that pit, here we go. Let's look at a human in a slave collar. Here we go. Human in a slave collar. Let me see where, there he is. Here we go. And I colored his tongue in too. There, this is in the Vatican, folks, right here. Human in a giant slave collar, because your flesh is the slave system for this whole system. And there's a human in a slave collar, tongue sticking out, and then you turn that upside down, and da-da, there it is upside down, and it is one of the offspring, the locusts coming out of the pit. And now the Google Doodle today is, I will rise. Okay, and let me show you what that means. That's what that means. Finally, the Queen of Heaven holding a penis in her hand with the fuel for that penis that's been feeding the underground race, that is about to rise up out of the pit. And today's Google Doodle is just that spirit of Elohim telling everybody, hey, all those gifts the ancestors gave, it's time to rise. Come up out of the pit. Boom, busted. There you go. Okay, and he opened the bottomless pit. So what's going to happen? Something's going to rise up out of the pit. What's going to rise up out of the pit? A bunch of locusts. And there arose, see, rise, to rise, arose, a smoke out of the pit, and out of the smoke of like the smoke of a great furnace, the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit, and there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and they have the power like scorpions of the earth. It was given that it should not kill men, but they should be tormented 5 months. Sounds like the Alien movie, gestation period. Okay, and that their torment was the torment of a scorpion when he striketh the men. In those days, men shall seek death and shall not find it. Tell me, how is it that a bunch of men that want to die, that have been stung by some bug, how is it that they can't die? I mean, you know, go grab a gun and shoot yourself in the head if you want to die. but they can't. They shall seek it, but they won't find it. Why? Incapacitated. Because it's probably taking over the host body. DNA change what they do. This is God's judgment for the forbidden fruit. And they shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. And the shapes of like the locusts were like horses prepared unto battle, and on their heads were like crowns of gold, and their faces were the faces of men. Okay, let's go back and just look at these different folders I have. Okay, so when this thing's right side up, what does it have the face of? A face of a man. There you go. And when you turn it upside down, and I just simply color it in for your perception because this is my spiritual gift, there is your locust, and there's the eye, there's the eye. Let me get that little banner off there. There you go. Okay, so there's the eye, there's the eye, there's the mandible, giant, huge, sharp mandibles. And then the mouth becomes a crown of gold. And then this becomes the hair of it. And the wings are blue. And the guy's hair that was right side up, that crazy wavy hair he's got, that turns into the wash of air coming out from under the wings of the locust. And by the way, these things right here make twins, and these make umbilical cords going to these two twins that are upside down. So, yeah, the twin system. And that's what birthed the locust race from the pit, because that was the forbidden fruit. Don't touch it. It's bad. You will die. Okay, so now we got a bunch of locusts that are going to come out of the pit. And here I've taken the entire list of popes. This is the image at the bottom, and I've stretched it out. I took this part that I've already drawn in and I pasted it right on top so you can see the length of that braided collar, how it turns into wings, and this is a locust coming out of the pit. Let's go back to the Google Doodle. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the hope and the dream of the slave. And so I rise, I rise. What's rising? Look at you see the sun? You see that? So I rise. Again, I don't want to play it. I don't want audio from that. I don't want a codec violation. So look, I rise. I rise. I rise. Well, let's go right here. Okay, so let's take this image of remember Barack Obama? Change you can believe in. You better believe it. It's a change you can believe in. So let's take that and shove it into here. And there you go. I rise. I rise. I rise. What's rising? Apollyon from the pit is what's rising. That's what's rising. Right there. And the shapes of the locusts were like horses prepared unto battle, and their heads, as it were crowns of gold, and their faces were the faces of men. Just showed you that. And they had the hair of women. Just showed you that. Let me see if it's on this page. Nope, it's on this one. Yep. And they had the hair as the hair of women. They had crowns of gold, and the sound of their wings was as the sound of many horses rushing into battle. So here we go. Let's have a look at what that looks like. There you go. So here you go. There's the eye. There's the teeth like lions. There's the face of men. There's the crown of gold. There's the hair like women. And there's the sound of their wings with all the air washing like many horses rushing into battle. Revelation 9. There you go. Crowns of gold. Faces of men. They had hair like women. Teeth as lions. They had breastplates, as it were, breastplates of iron, and the sound of their wings was as the sound of many chariots and horses rushing into battle. They had tails like unto scorpions. Y'all want to see the Scorpions albums? Remember Rihanna had a devil on her vagina, and that's the whole deal. That's the whole system. Let's look at some Scorpion albums. Let's do it live. Let's open up a new thing. Let's go Google Images, and let's type in Scorpion album covers. Okay, very popular band back in the day. Okay, let's see. There you go. Weird. Okay, let's see. Virgin killer. Nice. Okay, there you go. Scorpions. Deadly sting. There you go. Uh-huh. Send me an angel. Scorpions. Acoustica. Look, a man tied up with a cord, from his one of his instruments. That's lovely. She looks like a robot. There you go, because there you go. This is the truth, man. What you're looking at is just there you go. There's a female with a big scorpion on her. Uh-huh. There you go. Just go look at all this. Here you go. Scorpions in trance. Like she looks like she's being penetrated during sexual activity, like in trance, and that puts you in a trance. Okay. And as you look through it, you'll see, oh, well, there you go. Never saw this one. Scorpions. Wow. Scorpions. Moment of glory. Wow. Does that remind you of a guy named Barack Obama whose presidential portrait has a big Tyrannosaurus Rex coming off the side of his head? I mean, you couldn't make this up. No one could even think this up. This is so whacked out. This is just on Scorpions Berlin Philharmonic or Moment of Glory. There's their look. There's their queen lizard, Tyrannosaurus Rex, tyrant lizard king. That's pretty wild, don't you think? That's pretty crazy. What do the scorpions know that we don't know? Wow, look at all their weird stuff because they are tied to this. And the shapes of the locusts were the horses prepared unto battle, and their heads were crowns of gold, hair like women, faces of men, hair like women, teeth as lion, and then the sound of their wings was like many chariots rushing into battle. And I'm showing you the Vatican with that exact thing under the list of popes. And now the Google Doodle for the day is I will rise. I will rise. And again, at the risk of being redundant, I told you that the whole host body system, the Statue of Liberty stands on, you know what, let's open up another folder. I'm just going to open up another folder to show you the Statue of Liberty standing on top of a hendecagram so that you can see with your own two eyes that everything I've shown you has been correct. All of it. Here we go. Here we go. Let's look at it. Here it comes. Just a minute. Okay, so we'll go to Apollyon Locust 1 folder. There we go. Apollyon Locust 1. And here we go. There we go. There you go. There's the system. So there's the Queen of Heaven holding a penis in her hand right there. And she's in front of the Twin Towers, the two DNAs, and they have been converted. They got burned down and they got converted into one thing, new host body system. And she's just waiting for Daddy to come up out of the pit. That's it. And let's see, let's look at the hendecagram. There you go. Now, if you don't believe me that that's a penis in her hand, let's just go ahead and drag a penis over there. Let's go ahead and size it a little more. There we go. And oh no, that's not a penis, is it? That's not a penis in her hands. Okay, whatever. She's called the mother of exiles. Now, if you don't believe me that she's standing on top of a kelipot, here's a kelipot housing the essence of holiness and then Jewish cosmology. And there she is standing on top of an 11-pointed star. Dot, 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 dot. There it is. And you can see there's 2 points at this end, 1 point at this end. And if you look at this star right here, there's 2 points at this end, 1 point at this end. 2 points at this end, 1 at this. I'll slide it right over. Bam. Busted. Okay, it is called a transmutation circle. In a transmutation circle, let me read to you what that means. It's basic alchemy. Alchemy is a series, metaphysical science, mystical of art, of manipulating and altering matter by using natural energy. This act is known as transmutation, and its sequence is described as follows. Comprehension, number one, understanding the inherent structure, properties of the atomic or molecular makeup of a particular material to be transmuted. God's angels. Okay, so, and including the flow and balance of potential and kinetic energy within. Deconstruction, the host body system. Deconstruction, using energy to break down the physical structure of the identified material into a more malleable state so as to be easily reshaped into a new form. Locus from the pit. Reconstruction, continuing the flow of energy so as to reform the material into a new shape. Angel to human to locust. There you go. Now let's talk about a bunch of young ladies that like to put bugs on them, and they like to have a transmutation circle with their bug. And here's a girl. I really want to show you this one because this is very obvious when you know about witchcraft, the triple goddess. Look right there in the middle of it. There you go. I'm sure she's really serves the bug in the pit, serves the bug in the pit, serves the bug in the pit, serves the bug in the pit. That's what's running her. That's the spirit that's running her. Girl with the big vulture tattoo on her legs and her vagina because that equals death. Okay, on and on. Statue of Liberty right here. The most dangerous place in the world is between a mother and her children. What's she holding? You think that's a kid wrapped in a flag? You're wrong. That's a bug. Let's look at it. So let's take this and dun, dun, there you go. And she's the mother of all the bugs from the pit because the forbidden fruit, which was having sex, that's what got everybody in this predicament. There you go. Okay, so Google Doodle, I will rise. He's going to rise, all right. Now, why do you think that shipping container is going to its final resting place? Because all hell's about to break loose on this planet. And if you haven't been converted and once you know the truth, you're no longer afraid. The only thing that makes you afraid is the fear of not knowing the truth because you didn't know the truth. Once you know the truth, it's like, whatever. You know the truth is inside of you. You're not afraid anymore. Perfect love casts out all fear. Wow. I mean, you can't argue the data, folks. This is all supernatural. There's your forbidden fruit right there. That's your forbidden fruit right there. Forbidden fruit. That's it. That was the forbidden fruit. That's why these girls and guys and whoever, they have tattoos of the virgin, but the virgin's a bug. It's like, dude, this deal is solved. There you go. And see that right there, that's the spirit. That's that's the spirit that's getting injected out of a penis into a new host body system. And there's the system. Angel to human transmutation device, human host body, transmutation to locust from the pit. So there's a cycle, and that's why even our own government, the grounds of Washington, D.C., the Capitol building is the brain center of a giant bug when you lay it out. And when you even look at the mouth, the mandibles of that bug, there's a dead sheep in it. Okay, now, the Lord has let me prove this 7 ways from Sunday, as the saying goes, but this is done. We're done. It's coming. So, the Google Doodle, I will rise. I will rise. Look at the infinity symbol. See? Just like the yin yang, right side up and upside down, a binary system. Time's up. Okay, guys, there you go. I'm super, super duper busy today, so um, God bless you guys, and there's nothing to fear. There's no fear in love. You know, once you know the truth, you don't have to be afraid. It's like, oh, what do I do? It's like, nothing. If you're not ready to die, you're not ready. Don't you know that death is the beginning? It's not the end. For them, it's the end. For us, it's the beginning. It's quite the paradox, isn't it?